Hi you guys, welcome back to the channel. Happy 2024. I'm so excited to be back with y'all. I took a much needed break, but I'm back and better than ever. I have this 28-inch honey blonde highlight deep wave wig from a hair store on Aliexpress called HAIRACLE Wig Official Store. This unit comes with a 13x4 Swiss lace with 4 combs, 3 in the front, 1 in the back, with adjustable straps. It is 180% density, and isn't she just gorgeous? So I'm starting off by fitting the wig on my head, using the adjustable straps as needed before I go in and start cutting around the lace. I find it much easier to cut my lace if I cut it in sections, so I made around 4 sections starting in the center of my head and then one on each side, one cut on each side. Then I'm actually going to go in with a razor, like an eyebrow razor, to make the cuts really jagged. That way it blends in easier when we start to melt the lace. I recommend getting a razor comb that's a lot sharper than the one I have, because your girl was low-key struggling because it wasn't that sharp. So just take my word for it, get you a real sharp one. It'll make your life so much easier. Since this is going to be a glueless install, I'm going to be using my little got to be glued holding gel spray, whichever one you want to call it. This is a really great glueless option because it doesn't take out your edges, which is the most important thing. If you want to take off your wig after a few days, you can just put some water directly on it. It'll start lifting. Doesn't hurt or anything. So after I spray that on, I'm going to use my hair dryer to just dry it down a little bit to the point where it's kind of tacky. You don't want to put your lace on when it's directly wet because it's going to be sliding all over the place. To really make sure that the sides are stuck down, I like to take out a little ear tab section, and then I'll hold it down against my head as I'm drying the hair. That way it's just more secure. I like to use the pointy side of my rat tail comb to really press in that got to be spray. I feel like it works the best for this because it's really precise, but I do like to use the other side of my rat tail comb to melt in the lace. I'm going in with my African Essence spritz that I picked up from my local beauty supply store. You can really use any brand, it doesn't really matter, but I spray that over my lace and a little bit onto my skin. I feel like that's how you get the best melt. So I'll tap that in with my fingers, and then I'll go over it a little bit with my hair dryer before I go in with the comb end of my rat tail comb to really press it into the lace into my skin. I find that this works the best for me. It can get a little bit messy with the spritz, so if that ever happens where it's like too much residue on your head, you can always wipe it down with some alcohol. I'm going to use my Fenty Beauty Pro Filter Hydrating Longwear Foundation in the shade 490 to conceal around the lace and really blend it into my skin some more. The soft matte version of this foundation in the bottle, the pump keeps breaking on me like for the third time, so I just finally decided to make that switch to the squeezy bottle one, and y'all, it has lasted me so long without breaking, and it retails for like half the price. To get that final melt, I'm gonna tie my melting band around my hair, and I typically like to leave it for about 10-15 minutes. So while this is melting, I'm actually gonna style the hair. Taking my hot comb, I'm first gonna go over all the hair like without any wax or anything to try and straighten it out as much as I can before I go in with that wax. You really don't need a lot for it to work. Make sure your temperature of your hot comb is hot, so that it can really straighten the parts that you want it to straighten. Now it's time to choose your part. I am such a middle part bust down girly, but I feel like with curly hair, the side part always eats. So let me know what y'all think in the comments below. I'm gonna part my hair, and then I'm gonna use my edge wax to really define that part when I go over it with my hot comb. Now I'm using a concealer that is at least, I want to say at least 3 shades lighter than me, that I mixed with a concealer that is my exact shade to come up with like my scalp color that I'm putting in between my part. Even if you have bleached your knots, I feel like this is an essential step in defining your part. Once I take the melting band off, this is what the hair is looking like. Is it giving scalp? I'm obsessed. Now it's time to define my curls using this hairspray bottle that's like a continuous spray. It's actually so helpful when trying to define curly hair. I did get it from Amazon, so I'll have it linked below. After I get the hair fully saturated, I'm going to brush through it to make sure that the curls actually like pop up. Make sure that you don't skip this brushing step because I find that if I don't do it, the hair will be really frizzy. So make sure you thoroughly brush through before going in with any other product. I'm using this foam mousse by Kiss. It smells so good, y'all. It's like orange flavored, but I'm putting that over throughout all of my hair, also focusing on the ends so that they can curl real nice. This curly hair diffuser attachment that comes with my hair dryer is actually so useful in defining the curls and also adding that volume. So that's what I'm going to be doing, is like scrunching up with the actual like diffuser throughout my hair. Also, side note, this specific hair dryer does not fit that attachment, so I'm like holding both of them with my hands, a little bit unstable, but you get the point. I'm not gonna lie, this little hair dryer in my face had me feeling like Beyonce, okay? Like, do you see the vision? This is what the hair looks like when it's semi-dry. I like that wet look. I feel like that's what that mousse really gives you. Once it dries down, it will have a little bit more volume, but you can definitely leave the hair just as is, no baby hairs or nothing. But if you're interested in the baby hair tutorial, just keep watching. My edge brush comes with bristles, a comb, and on the other side it's like slightly pointed. All parts of this brush are useful, so I'm gonna part out the section that I want my baby hairs to be with the comb part. You kind of want to make like a crescent, like a half circle shape when you're carving out your edges. I like to do only 4, so 2 on each side, 1 on the top, and then sort of like the sideburn action. After I'm done sectioning off the edges, I'm gonna go in with a hot comb against like the hair to make it really flat and lay the opposite way that the other hair was laying. Now, you want to be really careful when using this hot comb. Again, it's really hot. Proceed with caution, move slowly, that way you don't burn yourself, because trust, when you burn yourself with a hot comb, it's a different type of pain, okay? If any parts of your lace start lifting, don't be afraid to go in again with that hairspray to glue them down. All these filming lights were kind of getting me to sweat a little bit, so that's why it was lifting, but don't be afraid to fix it. Using that same eyebrow razor from before, I'm going to start cutting my edges in a diagonal, so the edges that are closer to the top of my head are a lot shorter than towards the side. This is something that's a lot easier to see than explain. I'm using my pencil curling iron. Well, it's like a flat iron, but I'm using it to curl the hair up. I feel like this gives it a very fluffy baby hair look versus something that's like more stuck to your head, especially because I'm going to be using the mousse to lay them down. Using the comb side of my edge brush, I'm actually going to start to like brush the hair, like start sweeping the hair the way that I like it, This really changes like on a daily basis, honestly, but this is the basics of like how I lay my edges down with the mousse. Edges really vary from person to person, but if I find that the front is a little bit too long, I will go in with scissors to cut it so that it all like swoops in like seamlessly and it looks even. So that's what I'm doing with these mini scissors before I go in again to fix them. I like to swoop my side edges around into like a circle, but this specific one was giving me a hard time because the wetness from the mousse was causing the lace to lift a little bit. So just ignore that, but I like to kind of curl the edges around towards the end, and sometimes I'll even curl the middle one up. Now I'm just going in with some final touches, like if the other side of my edge wasn't as full as one side, I would add more hair, curl it, put the mousse down again so that it all looks even. I'm using this head wrap that's made out of silk to set my edges, so when I tie them down, I'm going to leave them for 10 minutes, and this is the final reveal. To give my edges that fluffy look, I'm actually going to brush them out because the mousse really just sets them in place, so when you brush them out, they look very fluffy and non-stick down. This is the final look. Let me know what y'all think in the comments below with this color. I absolutely adore it, and I just love the curl pattern. It was also super easy to put on and customize. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you in the next one. Bye. Mwah.